It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we're on a mission. And our mission really is to inspire, our mission is to empower, and our mission is to provide you, that's right, you, the hard working entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this particular episode, we have the one and only Oginga Carr, who's, yes, he's in the building to be talking about the Limitless Company. What's going on, Oginga? How are you?
Man, I'm doing amazing. It's so good to get a chance to see you again, to get a chance to catch up. I appreciate the opportunity to be here with your phenomenal listeners and with your audience. And so I just thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. And, let's just address the elephant in the room, which is, they're reading the topic, they're reading about your bio, they'll get that cool stuff, but they're saying the limitless business. And I guess the first question always in my mind is, why are businesses struggling today, right? I mean, they've got Instagram to get pumped up in the morning. They got AI that allegedly can do all the work for them, by the way. They've got all the motivation they need and access to more resources than ever in the history of my time on the planet. So what are some of the challenges that are facing business owners today?
Well, one of the biggest challenges, one of the biggest issues that we deal with companies is the fact that you have all this different stuff. But what we don't have is we don't have an actual structure in order to be able to put all of that stuff in. It really goes back. The more that we become bigger and greater and grander, like you said, when we first got started in this business, we had to do so much, so many different things all, and now we have all these things that are kind of done for us. But the problem is that we don't have any structure that we're actually inputting those things into. And so we find ourselves being limited, being chained. And even before there ever was AI, even before there was ever any of those things, we talked about like how is it that we could be limitless? How it is that we could break those chains and be able to do that. And one of the biggest ways of doing so is by having frameworks. I love frameworks, Shay. And so one of the best frameworks out there for me is to have clarity, content, and consistency. So we got to be clear about what our expectations are every day. Every day, when you get up at Instagram and you're looking, you got to be clear about what your expectations are. Then we have to understand the content of what it is that we actually want to do. And then we got to be consistent every single day. That's what it is. You see people who are tremendous athletes, you see people who make it big in business. One of the biggest things you see all the time when I see with my clients is that they are consistent in their actions. And so we got to be consistent in our actions because here's the deal, many of us are being consistent in our actions because we're consistently inconsistent. And so that's the reason why it is that we can't quite break away. We can't quite make the money we want to make to get away from that job. We can't quite get to a level we want to get to because we're consistently inconsistent. We're talking about bringing consistencies into it, definitely.
As you're speaking, I'm just want to, so we can all be on the same page because you're spot on. Limitless, what does that even mean these days? What does it look like and what does it mean? Because I believe it can mean different things to different people, right? And so I want you to talk to two sets of entrepreneurs if we can. I know you can handle it. One set is what does limitless look like maybe for the seasoned professional that they're doing really, really well, but it's time to scale. That means there's revenue coming in. They maybe hired a team, have some 1099s. They're like, okay, I'm ready to get there. And then there's limitless for the person that's in the business and they're the solopreneur and they're anything and everything, but they can still do very, very well. So I don't know if they're both the same. Maybe limitless crossover. I have no idea. But for you at home, you listening, lean in because limitless may be what you're looking for right now. And Oginga Carr is going to share exactly what it is. And then we'll talk about in a minute how you can get it.
So I'm so glad you asked me that, Shay, because when you're talking about the person that's at that place to scale, what happens is that many of us get so focused on that gross dollar amount. So we'll work with a client that we just that we worked with last year. They were grossing $2 million a year. So you might think, oh wow, that's terrific. We're grossing $2 million a year. But when they looked in their bank account, they had $30,000 in the bank. And it wasn't because somebody had a drug problem. It was because they didn't have any structure within their business in order to be able to scale to grow. And therefore, it stopped where it was that they need to go to. So you're working so hard for the growth of what it is. So, limitless as it relates to a business owner who is scaling is about being able to take your hands off of the business and it not veer off the road. See, when we don't have alignment in our business, and we don't have alignment in our vehicle, test this out. Don't do this when it's raining. But if you're driving down the freeway, you take your hands off the wheel of your vehicle should continue to keep going straight. If it starts to veer a little bit when you take your hands off of it, that means that you're out of alignment. Many of us in our businesses, when we're scaling, we're out of alignment because we're overpaying to our employees. We don't have any structure for what it is that we're creating or whatever. Everything's falling down around us. We have all these different things that are going on, right? And so we're not ready for those distractions that happen, whatever it is, right? And we veer and we go. But when we are there in our business and we're ready to grow and mold and we're ready to scale, it's because we put all of the different places in for ourselves. Whereas the difference is when we're an employedpreneur or when you're a solopreneur, what happens is that many of us don't know and don't have any structure in our life for how it is we're doing our business. So we are focused on our business when we're at home and focused on our home when we're at business because we don't have any sort of structure that's put together that says my office hours are, we don't go big red and say my office hours are from 9 to 5 and actually really mean that that's what our office hours are. See, when you're a solopreneur, what so many of your family members and your friends think is that you are free and you think of freedom and that you're free. And so you don't go work in at 9 to 12, and you find yourself kind of just dawdling around at work a little bit. And then at home, you're dawdling around at home, and nobody gets the full you. See, limitless in being a solopreneur is when people actually get the full you. They get to get the full you of who it is that you are, and they're able to create in that way. So that's what it's about.
We jumped off and we got off to a running start, and you defined what is limitless. You talked about business owners and how you're helping them and what they can do to generate revenue. And they're like, Shay, this sounds good. I mean, it sounds like he's spot on, but can you slow down for a minute? Like who is this guy? Like, okay, first of all, Shay, what is his backstory? Okay, and everyone is not, I know you think everyone may know who you are, but there might be a handful of folks that don't. They might even read the bio, by the way. So can you step back and let them know, who is or what's the backstory to Oginga Carr, number one? And what was that pivotal moment that led you to be on this path of really working with business owners so they can have a limitless business? What's the backstory, man?
Absolutely. So I've been in business now as we sit and talk. I've been a business consultant for 14 years, and so I've been running my own consultancy, Epiphany Consulting, for 14 years. And the problem is that many times when we hear the word consultant, um, for many people, consultant or coach is just another word for unemployed. And so that's not actually what it is for me. It is me really getting in and getting my hands dirty with businesses and understanding where that structure is. I am a freak about structure. I'm like, okay, how are we structuring this? How are we structuring this offer? How are we putting our team together? What does everybody understand their responsibilities and do that? But see, life sometimes happens to us, Shay. Sometimes life happens to us and it takes us to a place where we don't have any control. See, last November, I had been on the road, embedded with the client that I was talking about, the one who was doing 2 million, but only had 30,000. We're in the process of working with them. And I started having this swelling in my legs and all these different things going on. And I was like, I've got to take some time. So I took a week to go to the doctor. And I went to the doctor. I thought I had like maybe a blockage in my leg, something along those lines. So instead, I go and I don't have the blockage in my leg. They're like, we want to do an arteriogram. So they do an arteriogram and they want to check my heart. And they go and they check my heart and they say, Mr. Carr, you've got blockages to your heart. So I went from just thinking I've got some little leg issues to having a triple bypass within like 3 days. Um, so your life can shift and change in that fast of a fashion. So heart surgery went well. Everything is good. But 2 days later, after the heart surgery, I'm in ICU. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting up. Things are going well. I'm sitting up drinking grape juice. Um, And all of a sudden, the lights go out. And the lights go out because I had a phenomenon that was in my heart. They had put a temporal pacemaker in, and it misfired and stopped my heart. And so it stopped my heart for 2 minutes. And so I just want you to think about how long that is. I want you to take a moment after you watch this, after you listen to this, and just look at a time clock for 2 minutes. That's how long I was gone from this world. And so for me, this is personal now. This is personal. Every opportunity that I get to be able to share with entrepreneurs, every opportunity I get to share with people who are trying to put their life together, it's about high performance and it's about structuring the time that you have so that you can be successful. And it really is about the heartbeat of success, which is so very, very important to me. So know that everything I say comes from the heart. And it truly does because that's what it is there for me, no doubt.
And I want to get into your book coming up in a moment, but when you were there at the hospital and you realized that you were, 2 minutes gone from here, what were you thinking? What were you feeling when you were laying there, man? Because you read these books and people say, well, they weren't thinking about how much money they had in the bank. They weren't thinking about the appointments that were on their calendar. They weren't thinking about any of that stuff. And I'm just curious. It's not. I know I'm laughing. I know it's a very serious
Yeah,
matter. But I guess
yeah.
the real question is, what were you thinking and feeling when it kind of hit you that, whoa, 2 minutes, my heart stopped. I was literally gone.
So say I feel cheated because I didn't get to go to the light and I didn't get to go play ping pong with Jesus or anything as far as that or any of those different things that people have. I fell into this place, and the only way I can describe it, I know it wasn't hell, which is good. I know it wasn't hot, so there's a good thing with that. But I was in this place, and I felt like I was in the sea of humanity, and I was struggling and all I could hear was this noise that just sounded like noise of people. And it's like I felt like I was in this literal sea, and I was just trying to struggle for my next breath. What's weird is that I the lights went out, and when I came back, it was 22 hours later. It wasn't the 2 minutes later. They had done the shock and done all the different things, but they put me into an induced coma. And so I came back, my mom and my wife were sitting there talking next to the bed because I was still in a normal room. They just said sedated me, and I was intubated. I had the tubes down my throat, and they're talking about a football game. My mom had watched a football game like that night, and I was like, I watched that game. What's going on? How do I? How long have I been gone? Because I didn't even know I was gone because I was strapped down because I've been trying to pull the tubes out of my throat. And so they had me strapped down as well. So I'm strapped down. They're talking about the Buffalo Bills and the Minnesota Vikings, and I'm like, I watched that game last week. What is going on? And so finally, they gave me a clipboard to write. I could lay there and write on the clipboard. And so I just tried to understand what happened. And they took me back. But understand this that no matter what your belief system is, no matter what it is, we all have a finite amount of time here on this earth. I believe that I have an eternity in heaven beyond this. But we all have a finite amount of time here on this earth. And so what it redirected me into was in the energy of not losing time and not losing so that I focus and make sure that I have the time that I need to make sure to be able to create to do the things I need to be able to do so we can get things done. So absolutely.
I've had the opportunity to meet you and have eye to eye contact, be behind the scenes with you, even attended some of your training sessions that you've done, and I know where your heart is. And I want to just ask one question, a little bit outside the limitless business, but we have a number of entrepreneurs on here, Oginga, who are dualpreneurs. They work a full time job and they're full time entrepreneurs. Some of them are moms, take care of their family. Some of them are dads, take care of their family. Some folks really have communities and other things they're involved in. And the question I'm going to is around, you talk about high performance, you talk about getting involved in a lot. And they might be saying, well, Shay, how does this guy deal with time? Because I've got so much going on. Like, okay, he says be a high performance, but does he realize that I've got this going on in my life and I've got that going on in my life and I'm running a business and I'm responsible for it at the office? So can he kind of step back for a moment and say, he likes frameworks. What's some things that he might suggest, maybe one, two, or three, that can help me? I don't know if it's managing time is the right thing, but be able to get more done and do more in the 24 hours that they have.
Absolutely. Here's the deal. We only have the 24 hours, right? So what we want to do is do things that generate change in our life. So when we're talking about our business, it's revenue generating activities because things that generate revenue then generates time for you. See, if you can make more money in your side business and your side hustle, then you can take more time for your family. You see, if you can use your regular business that you have, your regular job as an investor, and people say these things and they just become buzzwords, right? Use your business as your first investor. Well, what does that look like? Like, do you have, I believe in 90-day chunks. So I believe in breaking the year. If you break the year down into basically it's 4 90-day chunks, it's 365 or 366 years days in a leap year. But I believe in breaking the year down into 90-day chunks. So over this next 90-day chunk, what is it that I want to accomplish? And then be focused on that accomplishment of that. And yes, does that mean that you're always going to be on? No, that's not what time management means. Time management doesn't mean that you're always on and you always have to work and you're always, no, it means that time management means that you have budgeted that time for the trash TV, that you budgeted that time to relax, so that when you're actually taking that time, you can pull that time away and say that this is my time for it. See, I'm a big believer in naming conventions, Shay. For me, naming conventions, the first thing we ever got here when we got here was our name. And so for me, it's all about naming conventions. And so every one of my days has a name. And so whether that is Sunday is scheduled Sunday, Monday is Magic Monday, Tuesday is Talk About It Tuesday, Wednesday is Work It Wednesday, Thursday is Together Thursday, Friday is Follow Up Friday, Saturday is Sanity Saturday. All of these things have names because they're things that in order to be able to focus on. So if you are working here, you're working in your job, and you're also working your side business, and you're doing that. If you can be structured in what you're doing, then it will not feel like chaos. And when it does not feel like chaos, then that is freedom. And that's what we really are about creating freedom. So that's it.
I love it. One of the questions I love to ask is what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given, right? And I love the framing around that you've had so many mentors along this journey of life, lots of different mentors, some maybe in person, some maybe online. But what's one of the lessons you learned from any of your mentors that you hold near and dear to your heart that you're going to pass on to the audience? Now, you, the listener, or you, the audience, or you, the person that's viewing right now, or you, the person that's cooking and got us in your ear right now and you're listening. This is one of those times you can slow down and you can kind of lean in, if you would. Might even grab a pen and paper because you get the benefit from one of Oginga's core competencies or core values that he holds with him. And you may never meet his mentor, but here's the cool thing: you could use this for the rest of your life. You only need one idea. So what's one of the lessons, best lessons you've ever learned from any of your mentors?
So I've had phenomenal mentors in this life. I've gotten a chance to see terrific people like you and terrific, just great motivational speakers, inspirational people. Gotten a chance to spend 3 hours with Tony Robbins, spend 3 hours with Les Brown. But the person for me is my original mentor, which is my dad, David Carr. David Carr Sr. He passed away in 2007, but he left things for me that I get to leave for my son and for my daughter who never met him. But they get the opportunity in order to be able to do so. So I want to give that as a gift here to you. And what that was is he told me something that has stuck with me for my entire life, and that is the road to success leads straight through the garbage dump. The road to success leads straight through the garbage dump. What happens is that we are on our way to success. Then we find ourselves in this pit of a garbage dump. If you've ever been to a garbage dump or to a landfill, they're usually big, huge mountains, right? They're big, huge mountains of just trash and stuff, right? And so what happens is that we are inching up that mountain. You don't see success on the other side of that ridge. You don't see it there. You don't see the success there. And we're inching up that mountain. And what we will do is we will start to settle. So we're in the garbage dump and we're like, oh man, look, there's a box there. There's a box. There's a box that's big enough for me to live in. I could live in this box. And if I turn myself downwind, it doesn't smell so bad because the wind is going. And I found these shoes that were here by the box, and now I'm going to put these shoes on, and now my feet are covered, and we do it. And so we don't move any further, and we just settle in the garbage dump of life. We settle in that garbage dump of life, and we say, this is good enough for me. And so good enough is the enemy of great. That's what happens. And we stop moving. But if you continue to keep moving in your life, if you continue to keep taking advantage of the things in your life, and continue to keep growing and growing, then you have the opportunity. You have the opportunity yourself right now to be able to get to the next. So I encourage you to get to that ridge because success is just over that ridge. It's just there. So the road to success leads straight through the garbage dump. It's okay that things are horrible. It's okay that things are difficult. Understand that it's gonna feel difficult even when you're making $10,000 a month, you're gonna be like, why am I not making 20? Why am I not making 50? Why am I not making 100? It's because, and we'll just settle and say, oh, well, at least I'm making 10 because I used to be making one. You're making $50 a month. Why am I not making 100? Why am I not making 1,000? Well, I'm making $50 a month so I can pay the Netflix bill with this thing that I'm doing right here. So it's cool. Stop settling. Move forward. Make it happen.
I love it. What's next for Oginga Carr? What should the audience expect for you over the next, I hate to say 5 or 10 years because that's just a lifetime away, but let's say over the next 12 to 18 months, man, what's the impact you're looking to make in the world? And for those folks out there, this is one of the reasons you want to follow Oginga. This is why you want to hang out with people like him. That's why I love being in this same circle he's in.
Absolutely. For me, it's all about how do we function and grow at a high level? How do we make sure that we are performing at a high level? So you heard me mention the heartbeat of success. I have my new book, which is the heartbeat of success, and it's all about how do we take these things that happen in our life and put structure around them and grow. See, I spent my entire life either working with kids or selling. And so I learned a lot of lessons from both of those things, from working with kids and at-risk youth, and then also figuring out how to be able to sell, whether it was selling in the telecommunications industry, whether it was selling in the copier industry, whether it was being in my own business, which is all about no matter what, all of you there in your business, you are in the sales business because you're consistently selling and doing so. And so it's about how all those principles that we created and that we have to go by, how they also matter for us in our life and how we do so. And so for me, we're in one of the biggest wealth transfers that we've ever seen. And I know that people say that, and you think that I should maybe have on a tinfoil hat by saying that and say the wealth. And I don't mean that like it's Robin Hood. What I mean is that we have every opportunity, like Shay said at the very start, to have artificial intelligence be doing things in our business, to have all the different places to be. You can't say, I don't know how to write a business plan anymore. That's not allowable. You can't say, I don't know how to write a book anymore. That's not allowable. You can't say, I don't know how to create a course anymore. That's not allowable. But you can say, as I need help and I need to figure out how to structure it, and that's what it is that we do. We walk people through it. We have done for you. We have done with you. We have DIY. We figure out how to be able to work through that, whether it's through coaching and working with someone who believes in you and is giving you steps, is talking about how it is that we get clear about it, how it is that what is our content that we're creating, and how we're going to be consistent on a week to week basis. Whatever it is, that's what it is. And that's our tribe. It's team crushing it. What we do is we crush those obstacles in front of our goals, we crush those timelines, and we crush life. And I'm just so very thankful to be here. Check out grab the book. The link is right here below. You can grab that bit.ly right now, grab it, and I'd love to be able to welcome you into our tribe as we move forward.
I love it, man. We have a segment here called "Today is my January 1st," right? It's one of our core messages, and I know some of you that tune in every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You wait for that one moment once a day. You get to say those words, and you can say it with me. Today is my January 1st. Doesn't that feel good? And for all the new folks who are tuning in for the very first time, we want to welcome you to the Happy Entrepreneur Show. Suggest you connect with us. Today is my January 1st, represents for us one of our core values. So it's a fresh start. It's a do over. It means our past, no matter what that past is, it really no longer equals the future. So my question to Oginga is when you hear those words, today is my January 1st, what do you hear? And then you've had so many, but what was another January 1st moment for you, man, where you had to bounce back from a setback?
Oh man, today is my January 1st is amazing for me because it is about a refresh and a renew. That's what it really is. And so to have the opportunity to be able to refresh whenever you want, one of my favorite sayings is that change is as easy as turning over a glass. And so we can turn over that new glass and be able to turn it over and that be that January the 1st for us. So when it's my January the 1st, when it's for me, that means that I have a new opportunity every day that I wake up to achieve greatness. And that doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to be great that day, but I have an opportunity in order to be able to achieve greatness. For me, it's about focusing. So I want you to take a moment for me just right now. And I want you to think of three words that would describe you at your very best as an entrepreneur, as a spouse, as a parent, as a child, all of the different hats that we wear within our life. What are three words that you would be proud to have someone say about you? And so for me, those three words are intentional, vibrant, and loving. I want to be intentional, whatever my actions are, whatever I do, I want it to be on purpose. I want to be vibrant. I'm in front of people all the time. I want to be, them be able to feel my energy and for my energy to bounce back off of them. And I want to be loving. I want to be loving to my family. I want to be loving to my friends. I want to be loving to my clients, loving the people who I just met. If I'm going to be living at my best self, my greatest self, I'm going to be intentional, vibrant, and loving. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to think of those three words. And what I want you to do for me right now on today, your January 1st, is I want you to put those three words in your phone. Set three alarms for yourself daily. And there'll be daily reminders of who it is that you are. It's your nest, is what it is. That's my Ojinga nest. So it's your nest. And I don't mean you have to get these words tattooed on your neck. It doesn't mean these have to be your words for the rest of your life. Okay. But it does mean that this is who it is that you are right now at this moment and for you to do it. And I invite you to not only do that, but hey, find me on social media. Share with me your three words. You'll be within the tribe of my coaching clients. Every one of my coaching clients, I have their three words right here inside of my phone. I'd love to be able to know what is your nest and what it is that you are and who it is that you are and how it is you create it. Do that, create that, and let's go on this ride together, right?
Man, you are amazing. You're incredible. You're doing so much good in the world today. And the question as we come down the home stretch and wrapping up is, what type of clients are you looking to work with these days? And if you're taking on any clients in your firm, and number two, how can folks best connect with you over and beyond today? So give them the links or the places to go to as they're listening right now.
Absolutely. So we are very selective of who it is that we work with. We're working with people who are looking to grow, and growth is one of those things that is kind of thrown out there as well too. But what I mean by grow, I mean grow financially, I mean grow spiritually, I mean grow intellectually. Be able to grow completely and move forward. I am a certified high performance coach. So what we work in is in high performance, whether it's in your business or in your life, and we look to for a that business owner who is like, I'm ready. I'm ready for the next level in my business, and I was ready, and then I just needed the right person in order to be able to push because I see greatness in people. I'm not the best friend. I recognize that. I'm not the best friend. I'm a terrific coach because I see the greatness in people and I push for it all the time. So it's difficult for me with my friends because I'm not friends enable you. Friends will say, "Oh yeah, it's okay for you not to do anything. It's okay for you." I don't believe that. I don't believe it's okay for us not to get that book out in the next 3 months. I don't believe it's okay for us to sit on top of things and not be able to. That's not okay with me. And so therefore being around me is going to be difficult because when you tell me your dreams and your goals, I'm going to push you toward that. The best place to get with me right now is to grab my book. You can grab it at bit.ly/heartbeat success. You grab that bit.ly link and click that link, and you can grab my book. And I'll send it to you autographed. And I'd love to be able to have you in our space. And we'll create and learn how to create together. When you grab the book, you'll also be into a Facebook group as well too. We'll be interactive there, dropping information there. Look, I'm not going to spam you to death or anything along those lines. What we're going to do is talk about and implement growth. It's about implementation. And so I am thankful so much for being here and being a part of what you're doing. You guys have been doing such an amazing job for such a long time, and I'm just so very thankful to be here.
Thank you so much, Oginga Carr. Appreciate that. And thank you. Thank you, the audience. Thanks for all that you do. Thanks for showing up. Without you, there is no show, by the way. And I never get tired of saying this at 11 o'clock at night. I mean, I never, ever get tired. I know sometimes I get a little DM or I get a message saying, are you tired of saying it? No. I want you to know right now that you really are awesome, that you truly, truly are amazing, that you've got a lot of greatness inside you. And for you, today, no matter what anyone's told you, is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason alone, I believe your best is still yet to come. Your best is yet to come. Your best, I believe, is yet to come. With that being said, my name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things happen. We connect again next time. God bless and keep doing his work. Talk to you later. Bye-bye, Oginga. We out of here. Peace, everybody.